Today we're going to talk about Creo software. But first I want to speak to the people who work in pre-construction, to the estimators, quantity surveyors, and contractors. You are the professionals who turn a blueprint into a budget and a vision into a viable plan. Your work is the foundation of every successful construction project, and you know that accuracy isn't just a goal, it's an absolute necessity. Your workflow probably looks familiar. On one screen, you have a PDF of the drawings. Nearby, there is a separate program or just a calculator for manual measurements. And of course, a complex multi-page Excel spreadsheet where all this data is brought together, linked by formulas, and turned into a final estimator bid. It's within this ecosystem of disconnected tools that you perform your professional magic. The question isn't whether you can get the job done with these tools. We know you can. The real question is about the cost of this process. The cost measured in hours of our time spent double-checking figures. The cost of a small manual data entry error that ripples through the entire budget, distorting final numbers. The cost of the stress that comes when an email with the subject line "minor design changes" arrives the day before the deadline. The quality of your work depends not on the software, but on your experience and professionalism. But efficiency, speed, and most importantly, confidence in the result, that's where the right tool changes everything. The existing fragmented workflow imposes an invisible tax on the time and cognitive load of highly skilled professionals. Your expertise lies in cost analysis, risk management, and strategic planning, not in meticulously tracing outlines on PDF or manually transferring data from one window to another. However, the tools you use force you to spend a significant portion of your time on these slow-level, repetitive tasks. This creates a gap between your potential value to the company and your actual day-to-day work. This tax is not just lost time, but also the mental energy spent on tasks that can and should be automated. In the long run, this leads not only to reduced efficiency, but also to a professional burnout. Switching to a tool like Creo becomes not just a business decision, but a step forward in improving the quality of work life of the entire team. Furthermore, the industry has become so accustomed to risk associated with human error that complex, multi-layer review processes have become a standard part of the job. This normalization of risk is a hidden inefficiency that Creo directly addresses. Companies build entire business processes and allocate significant man-hours just to mitigate the shortcomings of existing tools. They pay people to check the errors that a more advanced system would have prevented in the first place. Thus, the value of Creo lies not only in getting the job faster, but also in dismantling these costly risk mitigation processes, freeing up capital and human resources for more productive activities. Imagine two desks. One is chaotic, multiple monitors with a PDF editor, an Excel spreadsheet with dozens of tabs, and a calculator all open at once. Constant switching between windows, copying and pasting data, checking figures. This is reality of working with disconnected tools. The second desk, that's a single screen with Creo's clean and logical interface. All work happens in one place. What if your drawings, your measurements, and your estimates weren't separate files but parts of a single interconnected project? This is a core idea behind Creo. This isn't just about convenience. It's a fundamental change that eliminates the main source of errors in the industry: manual data transfer. Every time you copy a number from one program and paste it to another, there is a risk of a typo. Creo eliminates this risk by its very nature. Data from measurements is instantly integrated into calculations, completely eliminating manual entry errors. But more importantly, this connection works both ways. It's not just data transfer, it's a live, bidirectional link between the visual representation on the drawing and the financial data in the report. Since Creo is a cloud-based platform, this data is accessible anywhere and on any operating system, whether it's Windows, Apple, or Linux. This ensures synchronization between the team in the office and the specialist on site, guaranteeing that everyone is working with the most up-to-date data. Switching from old methods to working in Creo is not just changing the software. It's a transition from working with static, isolated documents to managing dynamic project database. In the traditional approach, a number in an Excel cell is just a number. Its origin can be lost, and the connection to the drawing exists only in the specialist's memory. In Creo, that same number is a result of a specific measurement on a specific drawing. This unbreakable link creates a fully auditable workflow. At any moment, a manager, client, or auditor can click on the final cost in a report and trace the entire chain back to the exact measurement on the drawing from which it originated. This provides an unprecedented level of transparency and security in case of disputes or clients' questions. Think about the most tedious part of your job, the hours spent tracing the outlines of rooms in a complex floor plan, or counting hundreds of identical light fixtures, doors, windows in a multi-page document. Now imagine you have an assistant who can do it all for you, in minutes, without a single mistake. That assistant is Creo AI. It's not a scary, complex technology, but a practical and powerful helper that takes on the most labor-intensive work, freeing you up to solve the higher-level problems. We can see how it works in practice. For example, auto measure. You upload a floor plan, you make one click, Creo's AI doesn't just see the lines. It recognizes rooms, walls, openings, and areas. It automatically identifies, measures, and groups them by type. What used to take hours of manual tracing is now done with a single action. Or auto count. Need to count all doors of a specific type on a 50-page project? Just select one example and Creo's AI will instantly find and count all identical objects throughout the entire project. No more straining your eyes scrolling through drawing after drawing. Or let's say one-click area. Need to measure the area of a complex shaped room? Just click anywhere inside of its closed boundary and Creo will instantly calculate the area, saving you from tedious manual perimeter tracing. The key idea is not to replace human experience, but to augment it. It's about automating 80% of the routine, repetitive tasks, so the professionals can focus 100% on the 20% of tasks that require their expert knowledge, analytical skills, and strategic planning. AI in Creo is not just a tool for speeding up work. It's an engine for consistency and standardization. Human fatigue and differences in interpretation inevitably lead to discrepancies in manual takeoff, especially in large teams. One specialist might measure an area from the inner wall, another from the center line. AI, once configured, applies the same rule in exactly the same way every time. This solves a fundamental problem of inconsistent reports at the earliest stage, at data collection phase. Thus, AI in Creo acts like a standardization tool that improves the quality and reliability of the company's outgoing data, making it bits more consistent and the brand more reliable. Moreover, AI democratizes the accuracy characteristic of senior specialists. An experienced estimator develops a trained eye over the years, allowing them to quickly identify and group elements on the drawing. Creo's AI, trained on thousands of real projects, effectively digitizes this experience and makes it available to every user regardless of their tenure. This means that a junior specialist using Creo can achieve a level of speed and accuracy in initial takeoffs that usually takes years to develop. This dramatically shortens the learning curve and increases the productivity of the entire team. For businesses, this means being able to onboard new employees faster and trust in the results of less experienced team members with greater confidence, which improves scalability and resource allocation. Every new project often means starting from a blank slate. We're creating the same report structure in Excel, re-entering the same material grade, searching for data in previous project files. Your company's knowledge ends up scattered across dozens of old folders and files, and reusing it requires significant effort. Creo offers a systematic solution to this problem through templates and databases, turning accumulated experience into a valuable, ever-growing asset. For example, in Creo, you can set up templates for cost plans and bills of quantities once. You can create a template from scratch or based on an existing successful project. This template becomes your company's standard. Every new project starts with this ideal pre-configured foundation, ensuring consistency and eliminating routine formatting work. In parallel, you can create and maintain an extensive database of materials, components, prices, and calculation rules. As you complete projects, this database grows, accumulating your unique rates, supplier data, and methodologies. It becomes your company's living institutional memory. This is similar to the idea of digital assets. Imagine a Lego set. You don't mold the bricks from scratch every time. You take ready-made pieces and build whatever you want. It's faster and the result is always predictable. Creo works in the same way. You create reusable financial assets that can be used over and over. Your best report structure, your supplier grid, material prices, all are saved as reusable components that make every subsequent project faster, more accurate, and more consistent. Templates in Creo are not just a convenient feature. They're a scalable quality control mechanism. They ensure that a single methodology is applied across the entire organization regardless of who's doing the work. The advantage described as creating a single structure for all employees is hugely significant. It means a project manager can open a report from any estimator in the company and instantly understand it because the structure will be identical. This radically reduces the time spent on internal reviews and approvals. Ultimately, it makes the company more scalable. When new estimators join the team, they're immediately integrated into an existing, well-oiled system with best practices, ensuring high-quality work from day one. Over time, a centralized database of prices and materials evolves from a simple reference guide into a powerful business intelligence tool. A typical price list is static. A database linked to an actual completed project, as in Creo, is dynamic. A manager can analyze the data to see how the prices of key material have changed over the last 5 years, or which subcontractors' rates are the most competitive. This transforms the database from a simple information retrieval tool into a strategic asset for making more informed procurement decisions and generating more accurate bids in future. It allows the company to learn from its own history in a structured, data-driven way. In traditional tools, any change to a project means manually checking multiple spreadsheets and high risk of errors. In Creo, things work differently. The data is directly linked to the drawing. If a measurement changes, all related documents, bill of quantities, the cost estimate, the bid proposal are automatically updated. Everything happens instantly without extra effort. This is the power of a truly connected workflow. It's not just about the speed. It's about resilience to change. It means you can welcome revisions knowing your system can handle them without risk and stress. You can confidently follow the create, iterate, repeat cycle. This flexibility, allowing the countless changes without destroying the work already done, is direct analog to the procedural approach so valued in complex systems. The ease with which Creo handles changes fundamentally alters the dynamic within the project team. When making revisions requires hours of manual work, an estimator may consciously or subconsciously resist changes or feel frustrated within the design team. When the same changes in Creo take minutes, the estimators calmly responds, "No problem, send it over, you will have an updated information in 15 minutes. This transforms the estimator from a bottleneck into a flexible and responsive project partner. In the long run, it improves the firm's reputation, straightens the relationship with architectural firms, and makes the entire project lifecycle smoother. Furthermore, this flexibility opens the door to true value engineering. This process often involves exploring multiple what-if scenarios. For example, what if we use different materials? How will the cost change if we alter the design? With manual tools, this is so labor-intensive that a thorough analysis is often not performed. The ability to easily compare scenarios and price and options is a direct result of the ease of making changes. Because adjustments happen so quickly, an estimator can truly explore alternatives. They can duplicate a project, change a set of specification, and generate a completely new estimate in minutes. This allows them to provide the client with much deeper strategic value, moving beyond simple quantity takeoff to become a true cost consultant. As a result, the firm can offer higher margin consultant services and win project based on a strategic approach, not just a low price. So, why switch to Creo? It's not about any single feature. It's about a fundamental change in the approach to work. It's the shift from a chaotic set of separate files to a single intelligent project control center. It's abandoning hours of tedious manual work in a favor of a power of an AI assistant. It's creating a permanent reusable knowledge base for your company. And finally, it's turning the stress of last-minute revisions into a simple, controlled update procedure. The choice today is not longer between which PDF editor or spreadsheet to use. The choice is between a fragmented process that consumes your time and exposes you to risk, and an integrated system that empowers you to be faster, more accurate, and more profitable. The choice is similar to what professionalism in other complex industries face. Continue to struggle with limitation of outdated tools, or switch to a platform built for efficient, fast, and user-friendly work. Creo is not another piece of software. It's a new standard for pre-construction. It's time to stop fighting with your tools and start working with a system that is designed to let you work in the way you always wanted to.